My grandmother used to make this for me, and I loved it. Whenever I found this recipe, I had to try it. We're going to start with 1 large egg and a little bit of vegetable oil, 1/2 cup. Just go ahead and put it in there with your egg. Next up, we got just a little bit of Greek yogurt. Now, I'm pretty sure her recipe didn't include this, but it sure is good for us. Just 1/2 cup of that in there. Next up, some vanilla flavoring, just to make sure it's got that sweetness that we love so much. A little bit goes a long way. Next up, of course, is sugar. We're going to put 1/2 cup of that in there, and then some brown sugar, 1/2 cup there. Zhuzh all that together, okay? Make sure that the egg yolk and the white are really well mixed with anything and everything there in the bottom of this bowl, okay? This is going to make a real sweet base for what we're going to be going with our batter for today. But my goodness, is it delicious. Oh my God, it's got a million wonderful memories for me. This would come out of the oven and the whole house would smell like a dream come true. Cut you off a hunk and just slather it with butter. Lord, that's the way to live, all right? Next up, we got to temper our batter with just a little bit of savory. So we're going to use 1.5 cups of flour. Then we're going to put some ginger in there. Y'all excuse me, I always bring this up real close to the camera so we can see it. That lettering is very close to the same color as the bottle and the ginger inside. It's 1 teaspoon of that, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then we're going to put 1/2 teaspoon of both baking powder and baking soda in there. A little bit of sea salt. Go ahead and grind a few grinds of that in there just to taste. Beautiful. Then we're going to mix that up, fold all these ingredients. Please be very careful with this, all right? Next up, we're going to use a little bit of apple, okay? So that's going to be 1 small green apple that we're going to go ahead and shred. Beautiful. Then what we're going to do is add just a little bit of these zucchini noodles. You see where this is going? Exactly. Going to add about 1 cup of those in there as well. Make sure you break them up. Now we're going to get our loaf pan out here. As you can tell, we've already sprayed it with our anti-stick spray, so she's ready to go. Going to go ahead and put another layer on there just to be safe. You know, there ain't nothing worse than losing half of your loaf of whatever it is that you're baking to the dish that you baked it in. Oh my goodness, my grandmother was the most incredible cook, baker, cook, any and all of it. If it came from her skillet pan kitchen, I promise you it was absolutely out of this world. And be able to do this is part of like an homage to her, a little bit of nod in her direction. It makes me real happy. So 400 degrees and 30 minutes later, we've got this gorgeous loaf of apple zucchini bread. Get a real sharp knife. Go ahead and cut it. Give it a second to cool, okay? If it's a little hot, that's fine because we got to melt our butter. God knows we don't want to do this without putting butter on it. You serve this with a big old glass of ice cold milk or a piping hot cup of coffee. It just don't get no better, okay? Now, that's just my experience. Some of y'all may have something to say about it, but I promise you, a slice of this sends you to the moon. Woo! Yes, please.